Good afternoon, guys. I'm Dan Babbitt, and I'm head of business development at Escrow LA. And I'm so excited today because I'm here with none other than my boss, Sharon Sharp, who is the president and owner of Escrow LA. And she's had the company for over 26 years.
26 years, yes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about components of a successful transaction today. And obviously there's no one better in LA to talk about this than Sharon herself, because you've probably seen over the years many things go wrong in a transaction.
Yes.
And I wanted to know what agents can do to ensure that their transaction runs smooth as possible.
Great. Well, even before getting a listing, it's so important to do a few things that are so fast and easy to do that'll make a huge difference. And one of them is before going on the listing appointment, check title to the property to make sure the person actually owns the property. Believe it or not, some people try to sell real estate and they don't even own the property. And that's actually happened on quite a few transactions I've handled.
I remember even like you telling me a few years ago, there was this like crazy actually Australian woman that like went around and was driving her boss's car and was trying to sell all of his like, you know, massive houses in Los Angeles.
Exactly. It was really something. And I checked her out on the internet. You wouldn't believe what I found.
So that's obviously, I can imagine that being a, you know, huge delay in an escrow. What else do you need to do to make sure that it runs smoothly?
If the seller holds title in an entity like a trust, a corporation, a partnership, or an LLC, make sure you get a copy of the entity documents to be sure they can act on behalf of that entity. Some people don't have the authority to sell the property, so you want to make sure before you even go into escrow that you have verified they have the authority to sell the property. And if you run into that, let me know what type of entity it is, and I'll let you know what documents you should get from your client. And we should clear it with title too.
Yeah, because we've even seen that, especially with, you know, husbands and wives.
Yes.
The wife might think that she's able and she's got, you know, the right to sell the property, but she doesn't without her husband.
Exactly.
Or vice versa.
And another thing too is always order the preliminary title report before you go into escrow. Some people forget that they have a title problem, like a judgment or a lien, or there's an encroachment on the property that they weren't aware of, or there can be some other very serious title matter that could take weeks or months to clear up. So get that title search done as soon as you get that listing.
And I know that something that you kind of created a few years ago that we've been doing a lot with our clients, that if they expect to sell a property sooner, to order even the HOA docs and the city reports in advance. Why do you make that something a part of a lot of the escrows that you do?
I am so glad you brought that up, Dan, because it makes a tremendous difference. Unfortunately, with the homeowner association, most of these management companies take so long to provide the documents and they're incomplete. So if we order those in advance, we get the documents, we can make sure the package is complete. And also it saves the seller money, because if you wait until escrow opens, they always charge a rush fee that could be like $300, $400, $500. So you can avoid your client incurring that cost. Also with the city report, it's great to have that on hand before you go into escrow, because sometimes there is a problem that's disclosed on the city report. So it's so easy. If you just give us a call, we'll order those documents for you and your clients.
There we go. And that's why you're the #1 escrow officer in Los Angeles. Well, I like to think. Well, I think you are. And then this office obviously comes up quite a lot. Clients ask their agents many questions that they don't know the answers to. What happens there when an agent doesn't know? Does he just make something up, which I would assume he shouldn't do? Or yeah, what should you know, he or she do if they're confronted with questions that they don't have the answers to and they don't want to look like they don't know what's going on to their clients?
Right. Well, this does happen a lot. You know, an agent can't know everything. There's so many different details involved in a sale transaction. So if you don't know, just very calmly say to your client, let me check on that and I'll get back to you. The clients are always happy to hear that. They'd rather have you say that to them than guess and give them the wrong answer. And unfortunately, many agents feel pressured to give their client an answer to every question. And sadly, sometimes they give them the wrong information, and that creates huge problems. So always say to your client, let me check on that and I'll get back to you. And then you can call me, and if I don't have the answer, I'll point you in the right direction. But it's so easy to handle it that way, and your client will be really happy.
That's awesome. And I know we're obviously talking about components of a successful transaction, because I think one of the most powerful and one of the most important components of a successful transaction is to work with an independent, unaffiliated company such as ours. And I kind of wanted you to explain a little bit more why it's so important to work with an independent, unaffiliated company like ours.
Oh, it's so important to work with a truly neutral third party. And in my professional opinion, an unaffiliated escrow company is the most neutral third party. The purpose of an escrow holder is to be a neutral third party. And it's so important not only for the seller and the buyer, but for the real estate agents too. I've had several clients, real estate agent clients, who were sued, and I had to testify in court. They did prevail in the cases, and when the jury talked to the attorneys about how they came to their decision, the jury said that because they worked with an independent, unaffiliated escrow company, that made a big difference to them. So that really helped these agents out with their cases.
Yeah, and that's what I've been hearing, when I go to the open houses, when we were allowed to go to open houses, that feels like it was years ago now, a lot of the agents were saying that, when they were in lawsuits that, the jury would deem that it was a conflict of interest and they were in breach of their fiduciary responsibilities, because when you use an in-house company, it is essentially not 100% neutral because it's in-house.
Exactly.
And obviously we were talking about how it's so important to have a team that you can trust in all different industries with the smooth transaction. But I think we're forgetting about the most important team member of our team, Jacques-Henri.
Yes. He's one of my assistants.
So Sharon, tell everyone how they can get in contact with you.
They can reach me at 310-231-9100. My email is sharon@escrowla.com.
And unfortunately, Jacques does not have a direct line, and he only does take on specific clients. So if you do want to work with Jacques, it's best to email me, dbavick@escrowla.com. That's DBAVIC. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.